Welcome, everyone, to the Results Driven Podcast. Today we have two very special guests. We have Rick and Mary out of the Chicago market. So thank you guys for coming in. You guys have been crushing it, and I'm really excited to dive into your story and your journey here.
Cool.
Welcome in.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So let's rewind. About a year and a half ago, we were just talking. I had just tore my pec. I was in a sling. You guys came out to your last event. So a year and a half ago, before you started working with us, where were you guys in your business? What did the business look like then?
Retail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in the investment business, what we realized was actually just a glorified hobby.
Yeah.
It wasn't a business.
Okay.
We thought it was business because we had like an LLC and stuff.
Yeah. So full-time real estate agent.
Full-time and Bryn, who's off camera, she and I had started the investment business first and had a lot of success with it. But when we really dove in, like you guys showed us like the stages of business, we were like, oh man, we were at the initial phase. Like it had gotten so interwoven with our retail business that it was truly just, we had to come to the realization like we were just running a hobby.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that even though you're in real estate, full-time real estate agent, it's really no different than how I kind of picture I was running our business when I was working full-time in construction. Even though you're still in the real estate space, it sounds like the investment space was more treated like a side hustle. And that's where I see a lot of people get stuck.
Yeah. And like, I thought it was a real business. Like, it was actually a really hard pill to swallow, to be honest with you. Because we had success and we had made money from it, I was like, no, do not put me in that category.
Yeah.
But the reality was, I was like, oh, we don't have a business.
So what was the realization behind that? Like, what was the one or two things that you saw and you're like, wow, I thought this, but now I see that?
We had no systems or processes at all.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. There was everything you guys do here is nothing. And we were like, oh, we're not even in the game at all, actually.
Yeah, didn't have any of that. No tracking KPIs.
Nothing.
Yeah. We're just like, like Mary said, it's like it was like a hobby.
Yeah.
Like,
the one KPI was, are we making money? Are we in the green or are we in the red? That's the one KPI, right?
Yeah.
Well, every KPI we did have, it was in that 3-day. It was like the coaches here were like, but that's for your retail business. Everything was existing within that bubble.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, but I was back at the office. You guys came out here and visited, and then they called me, and I'm just running game on retail because that was my jam for so long. So it's like, hey, we're going to sign up for this thing. Okay, cool. I trust you.
Yeah.
We might have already done it.
Yeah,
and they called you after.
No, they did. They're like,
even better.
How do you feel about it? I'm like, oh, whatever, man. If you like it and you think it's worth it, let's rock, you know?
Yeah. No, that's awesome to have that kind of support. So you jump into the program after coming out here. Big realization is, thought we had a business, we're making money, but didn't really have systems and processes in place. What were you still at that time wanting to dive deeper into the retail side of things, or were you already fed up with it at that time and you were like, the investment space is where we got to be? Like, what was that transition like?
Yeah, well, I mean that was my thing. That's why I'm coaching people on, you know, I loved that side of business because not that I didn't love the other side or acquisitions and stuff like that. I just
what you were comfortable with, what you knew.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my 12 to 15 listings a month, and that's just like give the buyers away and just keep rocking that way, you know. And we were gonna stay that way after they got back. Like, I'm gonna stay on this side. You guys will figure that side out and grab a couple of these people and put them
right.
Here.
Like, initially we were like, we got to divide church and state.
Yeah.
Like, we have to focus here. But it really, like, an initial struggle was unlearning. Because when you are in this retail world, because I started my real estate career in the investment world, and I kind of got sucked into retail, especially during the COVID era. Like, it's just so easy to just explode in that fashion.
For sure.
But when you take sellers through the process, a retail conversation is the path of least resistance. It's the path of least resistance for the acquisition agent who's dual rolled. And it's the path of least resistance from the seller because you want that yes. Right? Because as Coach Brandon tells us on Sales Pod, everyone wants retail from their house.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is, everyone wants retail, right?
You might get one lucky out of 100 that's like, I actually will be reasonable and give you a discount.
Yeah,
for
maybe,
sure.
if that.
But you have to trust the process. And I will say that there was a good amount of months of unlearning. I had to do a lot of unlearning. And then when I hired Rick into Elevated Offers, it took unlearning for him too. Like, because it was like, hold on, we can't keep referring everything to retail.
Mhm.
We have to trust this
I mean,
process.
I'll be honest. I mean, like, I was not I'm not uncoachable, and I don't like I'm not, but I did feel that resistance a lot. Like I was like, who's this guy with the big beard? Why is he trying to? Why is he? Like I feel like he's
Yeah.
picking me apart. On
He
this
looks a lot
blog.
like a leprechaun.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I'm like CC Tap. I call him. I'm like, dude, I know way more than that guy about. This is what I was thinking. I'm gonna be transparent. And then Kelsey, was like, I'm referring too many things that refer to agent. And the one time I literally went like 12-year-old Ricky in there, and I was like, I'm not talking to this dude no more. As a matter of fact, I'm done with this whole results driven thing and all this BS. I'm going back to retail. Leave me alone. I had nothing to learn. I really, yeah. And then I was like, so because like help and that dude's, he's like I don't know,
He's a Jedi. He's 100%.
Kelsey is?
Oh my
he's like a
gosh.
Jedi.
Yeah.
Like from a coaching perspective, I was like, oh, I probably resonate more. This is kind of, I mean, how can I go full church here? Like,
Yeah, let's go.
I'd probably be better off with like a guy like Bo, because he looks like he wants to run through a wall or like,
Yeah.
like race you or something, like tackle you.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of
Hold you down and
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
like, you're going to
like,
do this.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I was wrong. Not that I don't know how Bo coaches, but I'm just saying like Kelsey is so good at coaching. He really is, man. And I'm like, where would I be without that dude?
So how did that switch get turned on then? Like how did you go from having that mindset of like, I don't have anything to learn to, okay, I'm going all in?
Yeah, I have enough of personal development to know, like, when I go back and I reflect on how I am acting, that I know exactly what's happening. And it's like I'm doing anybody else and everything to do with me and where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I'm making this big jump from this, like, I think I like created this identity. I'm a real estate agent.
Right.
And like, I'll go do that, but what about that? It's like letting go of I gotta let that go and come over here and really from a cash flow perspective, there's three of us.
Yeah.
It's a no brainer. And then, and when like, I'm like, look, this isn't working. Remember that? Probably gonna cancel with you guys. Like this was our combo. I said we're probably gonna cancel with them because like we just don't think it's working.
Yep.
That was another lie. It was another lie. It was just went from one lie to the next. As a matter of like now it's like I'm so deep in it. I don't know why we would ever like. I understand why we thought that for that time. It was everything to do with us. But you guys, this is just. It's like, hey, we did this already.
Elaborate a little bit more on that. When you say like you knew that it was you, was it that you talked about the sales and the coaching ability and stuff like that? And kudos to you, by the way, on like being developed enough to where you understand what's kind of causing that for you, and then finding a way to overcome that. I think that is one big thing I think that's underestimated in entrepreneurship.
Appreciate that.
People being able to overcome those types of challenges. Now, I know that for sales, everything else though, what helped you get back to that point? Because I mean, if you're at the point where you're saying, I'm done with this, there must have been a conversation, an experience, or something happened that was like, no, that's not the case, and let's go.
Same convo as I had with myself. You had out loud. God, like, yeah, this has nothing to do with them. It's everything to do with us. We're not diving in. All the tools and resources are there. They did it already. Mm-hmm. And all we have to do is, like I say, rip off and duplicate what we did. And if you do what we did, you're going to get the results.
Right. It was truly like September, October last year. Because we had gone through a couple different evolutions. And like, truly, so we're in our third re-up of being small group coaching students with you guys. And once we got into the headspace of being like, let's be open to all of this. And like Kelsey, there was a couple conversations where like, this guy puts us on our head every single, like upside down, every call. He's amazing. Like he just sees everything super clearly. And that's probably what we realized our business wouldn't be a business without this program.
Yeah.
And then we also said, we are not going to challenge the system anymore. We kept trying to change it and put it into like our way of doing it. We went back to like mine and Bryn's like way of doing things before, or our retail spin on it. Finally, was like, we had this really open conversation. This is the system. We aren't challenging it at all.
Right.
Tiffany has this figured out. Tiffany and Josh have this figured out. We are not.
Tiff was a big part of that.
Yeah. We are not altering this at all. We don't have the right to alter it. So we are going to completely follow it 100% and not challenge it.
I was like, how does Kelsey know as much about your business as he does? That's what I was like. Yeah. I was like, how's this dude? Whatever we ask him, he
knew every answer.
He's like he's like so dialed into it. And I'm impressed about how you have a dude. Where's he at? Maryland. You have a guy that lives in Maryland that knows, I feels like he knows as much about your business as you guys do.
Oh, for sure. That's the power of proper onboarding, ongoing training. Mm-hmm. And and just building the team the right way. It doesn't matter if it's real estate acquisitions or if it's a coaching business or if it's a roofing business or an insurance business. And that's one thing that we talk a lot about. And I don't know if you guys remember this last time you were out a year and a half ago. There's a clear difference when learning how to flip a house, like how to underwrite the deal. Like that's all real estate knowledge.
Right.
But business knowledge is totally different. And far too often people think I need the real estate knowledge, which yes, you do. Like it doesn't matter what business you're in. You need to know your product, right? But business knowledge is going to be for the most part the same from business to business to business. So
Totally.
it's interesting you guys saw that and you guys were able to jump into that. Now I'm going to go a different route than I normally do here just because I'm really impressed with the psychological aspect and I love talking about that. And you mentioned that your identity was being real estate agents. And I think, like I mentioned, this is one thing that holds a lot of entrepreneurs back. Whatever we identify as, we will be stuck in. So if we're trying to transform, we'll never be able to make that transformation. And Tony Robbins says this a lot. I love Tony. I don't know if you guys listen to Tony or not.
My favorite.
But Tony says that if you talk to someone who says that they're trying to quit smoking, but they identify as a smoker, they'll never quit smoking.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so as a real estate agent, or heck, it doesn't matter if someone's just not getting into the space. Like maybe someone is thinking to themselves, like, things just never work out for me. And they identify that way. And therefore nothing will ever work out because they'll self-sabotage. And I just, I don't know if you guys had any realizations like that in this transition as well. And if you guys would be open to talking about that.
Yeah. I had to have I did. Because I think it was more of not that, because Mary was all in on it. And she's very passionate. She was real passionate about me. Like, hey, listen, you got to come over here because this kid's not good enough. Like she just had like, these kids can't handle it. This side of the business needs you.
From like an acquisitions perspective?
Yeah.
Just like, talent wise and that, like this would be good for me to be over here and the ROI on my time spent there is going to be better than the time spent there.
Right.
I'm on listings and I don't care how big the listings are. I'm like, we'll take $1 million listings and there'll be more money to chop up.
Right. But that wasn't happening though.
No, it wasn't. I mean, we sold 140 houses or I think, was that something?
Yeah,
Like that?
still a
year.
solid chunk, yeah.
It's still a decent. No, I'm not. Yeah. But like, I'm 50. Yeah. I've read all the books that I could read.
We look great for 50, let me say.
Well, I read all the books, all the personal development, all the coaching, Tony Robbins, all that stuff. And it's like, I know enough to have enough awareness to go, all right, this isn't going to work if I keep doing it this way.
Yeah.
You guys did it. So that's my proof. That's all I need. That will work for me. I don't lie to myself anymore. And if I do, I catch myself really quick and just keep it moving. And I know everyone doesn't have that, like, or they have it, but they don't use it. And so I guess, I don't know what age I stopped BSing myself, but that's really all it was about.
Yeah.
If you did it already, it's fulfilling them out, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Roger Banner.
If you did it, then I know I could do it because you did. I don't care where I'm at. I could be anywhere on the planet. But I did. There was a time too, Josh, seriously, where we were saying, this probably works where y'all are at, but not where we're at.
Well, I think we're also really blessed as business partners. Like they've done NLP. I've done Tony Robbins. We've all done Landmark. We read personal development books together. So we have that as our foundation.
Yeah.
And I think that's so key for us, that we can have what maybe could be identified as a difficult conversation to be able to go through transformation and to realize like, hey, that's okay. Like we can keep evolving and we have the tools and resources to do that.
Do we answer your question?
Yeah, you absolutely did. Yeah, no, this is stuff that I've studied a lot myself and I love talking about it. But I don't, for whatever reason, a lot of people are not comfortable talking about it. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think it's one of the most important things. One of the biggest roadblocks people have is the muscle between their ears.
They all say every day.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get back. So I call that like soft skills, right? That it's important to be successful in business with those soft skills, but there's also the nuts and bolts, the hardware, the business, which I believe is like the onboardings, the daily trainings, the one-on-ones, and the management and accountability. So when you jumped into the program, what were the first like 2 to 3 things that you guys focused on and implementing in your business?
Deal flow was like immediate, right? Like just really getting into the acquisitions training and like learning the scripts and dialogue. Again, it goes back to like the unlearning of it.
Oh yeah.
Of like realizing like, oh, so we're not going to visit a home. We're not going to take it down as a listing, right? And so just like really that was the only thing we focused on. Sales pod, learning these scripts, and deal flow. 100%. And then it was like, then after a while, I was like, now we're going to do this daily training. And it felt like weird and clunky.
Oh, yeah.
And then Kelsey kept talking about this level 10 and we would look at this level 10 spreadsheet. I'm like, this is
Why,
like
why more
Greek to
meetings?
us.
We need deals.
Yeah.
More meetings. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I'm not using
He-
those
he's-
spreadsheets.
Yeah.
yeah. Like, and the scorecard, it was like,
Yeah.
I don't even know scorecard.
Doing that.
But we realized like, hey, it's gonna feel awkward at first. But when we had that realization, like, we're gonna do it.
Mhm.
I don't care how clunky this feels. We're not gonna question it. And we're gonna do it. So now when we go to our daily huddle and our scorecard, or our level 10 meetings, it totally makes sense. It's like that fake it till you make it for a second.
Yeah.
Like we had to just be there. We're like, none of this makes sense to us. It feels weird. It's so out of the norm for us, but we made a commitment and we just stuck to it. And now it's like, I don't know, what would we do without that scorecard? I don't even let anyone touch it. They're like, Mary, you have flames missing. I'm like, don't touch it. Don't break my scorecard. I will add the new week. A kid went in there the other day and I was like, you just want me to come across the table, do you? Do not touch my spreadsheet.
No, that's that important.
Yeah,
I agree.
for sure.
Like, otherwise,
It's the lifeblood.
otherwise you're chasing problems.
For sure.
Trying to find a problem that you don't even know if that is the real problem or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The numbers tell you exactly where to focus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
realize that, and we control the activity, not the results, and so we understand that just from past.
Can you guys think of a recent example of where you've leveraged that scorecard, saw an issue, and the actions that you took to solve it? Is there one that
the
goes off
dials?
Mm-hmm.
The dials,
Yeah,
the dials
just
number, the dials being too low. It's like,
Okay.
yeah, it's like the awareness that comes from that, and then I'm like, hey, listen, one of the we have this. It's me and two young men that are on the acquisition side.
Okay.
So one of them I coached in basketball. Is he 19?
No, he's getting ready to turn 21 this year.
That's crazy. Came in like 3 days after he graduated. I kept in touch with him all throughout high school. Sold shoes on Instagram and
Flip shoes.
shoes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy knocked on Mary's door selling solar panels. And so those are two guys I'm working with. And I'm only bringing that up because it's like the conversation I had with them. They're competitive. I'm competitive. We're like, everyone's wants to get be successful. And the conversation I had with them, we started this journey together. Committed January 5th of this year. So
With the boys.
Mm-hmm. And so we're all in.
Mm-hmm.
And grabbing another guy from retail, Bryce, and bringing him over to the side and just being like, hey dude, let's go, let's be at this, let's see what happens. Let's try it for 90 days, let's see what happens.
So those guys, how long have they been with you then? It's just a couple months, or has it been longer than that?
Like in our orbit?
No,
No, on the team.
a couple years.
Okay.
Yeah. Like in our business world for several years.
Got it. But in the acquisition,
Not Sean.
Sean.
Well, 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bryce is.
almost 2 years.
Yeah. In the acquisition, Sean's been around longer. Okay. Definitely over a year in the acquisitions role.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not like
Bryce
sales.
fully committed a month and a half.
Okay.
Yeah. Into the acquisitions role.
Right.
Yeah.
So the talk I had with them was like, hey, dude, you gotta get like your minimum dials up, And I said, what were your thoughts on that? And he's like, well, he's like, I just feel like I can't get to it, so I'm gonna lower it. And I had made sure we we're them together because they're like, oh, were they? Like, well, they to what? I don't know, like 30 something
A day.
$30 a day.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, it's okay. And then we just sat in silence for a minute, And I was like, yeah, I was like, no, I can do that. Okay, cool. What do you think? What do you think you could get to? He's like, at least 50. I was like, all right, cool. Let's try it for a week and see what happens. Just we'll just each go out. What's our minimum dial go? Oh, just 3 of us, 650. Okay, cool. Because we looked at some of your guys, like, how many dials are those guys making?
Well, we realized your guys' minimum daily requirement is 50 dials a day per agent.
It's typically, depending upon the day, acquisition specialist or a closer, they'll have 60 to 80. Yeah. Sometimes, if on a slower day, they'll be 90 to maybe 100 because they're doing a lot more prospecting and they're triple tiling, stuff like that.
Well, the guy that wanted
we just wanted to like minimum requirements so we could mirror it. Yeah.
The guy that wanted to lower it to 30, he had 200 dials the other day. So
it's interesting how that works.
It didn't work out.
4 minute mile, right?
So now exactly.
Yeah.
So we went from like we're gonna lower it to 30 to now we're at the 650 is a cinch by Wednesday, and I'm not like I'm just not down as many as they are.
You're more of a player coach. You'll never have as many dials as they have because you're listening to calls, you're doing audits. Like
yeah, true that. But honestly, I am kind of like still competing with them.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like I can't get there, but there are days where I make more dials and I might do it on on purpose.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You got to show them up. Show
I'm
them
gonna do 80. I did 80 the one day. I'm like, all right, like
Where you guys at?
I hang with y'all all day, man. I'm like, man, did you see the dials? He's like, oh, it was my birthday, and no, whatever. I got you, brother. So next day he comes in, and then he's trying here. He's chasing
on 105.
Yeah, he's like, all right. He's like, you see the dial? Yeah, man. What's up? All right, let's go. Because that's like what a great competition to be in. And I don't know how many we put under contract last month.
So in January it was 15. They put under.
There you go.
I know, right?
High five to that.
Right.
Yeah.
15.
And we're so they have 6 under contract, 7's happening today for this month.
Yeah.
Which is great.
We're just try, see a little, just get a little bit better, and they lie too, man. Like that, not our team members, the people, like you see like buyers are liars and sellers are liars too, like those guys. But these guys,
sellers are worse.
These are liars. These are different level liars.
Yeah.
I'm getting worked by little old ladies and stuff like that. I'm like, I feel like the guy in Dumber and Dumber. I'm like, and Brandon knows. I didn't like Brandon at first, right? Like obviously he was calling me out, and I'm like, who's this guy, right?
Yeah.
The big beard and all that, and then I'm like, and then that dude. He's
you can analyze every
dances with wolves,
like every inhale, every exhale.
He's like, hey, hang on. He's like, did you hear that guy's breath he took? And you're like, it's like that means, like the cricket farted in the background, and that's like, I'm like, how's this guy? And he's like, I can't believe you're gonna get that under contract. He's like, did you get the locked up yet? I'm like, not yet. He's like, she's full of it. I'm like, what did you hear? I go, something squeaked in the background. He's like, yep, that's it, man. That's a key. That she's full of it. And so sure enough, everyone he's pointed out. As much as I didn't like getting picked apart, I'm like, dude, Cece's always on point. And so they're on today. It's on today, right?
No, they're on the growth track call today, the acquisitions growth track call. But then they go with him on today, Thursday, tomorrow.
Bryce got off the other day. And he's like, how does that Brandon do know? Like, how do you hear that? And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know. Like they're all like, they all got this like Yoda like thing going on. I'm like, that guy. Yeah. Where'd you find him at? It's like that. What does he do? Did he just eat, sleep, and drink? Like studying the psychology of the way a human speaks on those phone calls? Because he's on.
I don't know if you know this. He sold timeshare for
like
almost, I think, 20 years almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
cut through BS real quick.
Well, being
so fast.
being in real estate sales, I'm sure that at some point you'll learn something about body language, right? And when you're in person, you can see if someone's it's bad, if they close off, like if they don't like what they're hearing, they might touch the ear, stuff like that. So it's the same type of soft skills, like reading someone, but it's just you can't see them. So now everything transfers to the voice and how they say what they say. And when you can pick up on those little things and just over the years of, okay, this was the outcome when that happened, and putting those patterns together, that's where that skill really gets developed. And he's done a really good job with that, for sure.
You guys done it too. So like you've attracted great humans that are committed to as committed to making this go great as you guys are. I feel like everyone's rolling in the same direction, and like that dude, you can't hide loving what you're doing. You can't, in my opinion. I don't know if you find
say that again. You can't what?
You can't hide.
You're doing.
Like I'm not able to
hide loving. Yeah,
like those guys, they love it.
Yeah, this goes back to this is John C. Maxwell saying law of magnetism.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people will ask me like, how did you learn leadership and stuff like that? And I always worked on myself first. A lot of what we discussed earlier, like making sure that what's in between my ears is on right. Because in order to create that type of culture, to attract those types of people, I've got to become the person that those people would want to follow. Can be sure. Yeah. So if we want to attract people like ourselves, we got to become the person we want on our team, right?
Yeah, that's all I can control. I just got done telling you kids that last night, man. All you control is yourself. Focus on that, and everything else will follow it. Right?
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's the current challenge you guys are working on right now with your coach?
It was in the very beginning. We were like, we need lead flow. Right. So we were all focused on the contracts. And then it was like towards the end of last year, we had this realization. We're like, this is actually a dispo business. Because if we understand where end buyer is, then the acquisition side becomes significantly easier, right? Because we still fix and flip. We never did we maybe did like a random wholesale here and there, but because of our involvement with your program, like we became wholesalers. Like we have a wholesaling business. Now we get to cherry pick what we want for our flips, which is really phenomenal, right? Versus like just taking what you can get. So we realized, oh my goodness, this is a dispo business. So that's our current challenge, is like really like building that buyer's list and nailing the dispo department.
I literally just had a phone call with someone who's also in this program who I'm really close friends with, who's here locally. We're looking at a really big development deal, which will be really exciting. Hopefully that comes to fruition. But we were talking about how important now more than ever, just with longer days on market, higher inventory, and there's a little bit of a shift in the market. Knowing your buyers to that level
Yeah.
is really what's going to separate the people who win and succeed in this business and those who probably won't be here in the next 12 or 18 months.
Absolutely. So Bryn runs our dispo department, and it was like this other realization that we had is that there's so many, like Investor Lift calls them daisy chainers.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
For sure.
Right. So all of a sudden we realized, oh, there's so many buyers out there who aren't even like going direct to seller. Like it just gave me a lot of confidence in our business and our marketing and what we're doing, that like there's so many people who are just constantly trying to skip and hurdle the actual work, that if we just continue to run the program, run the systems, follow what we're supposed to be doing, it's like we're gonna be fine.
Everyone still thinks there's these magic property lists out there.
Yes.
You
It's
know?
like, no, you just
it's
got
like
to
it's
going
gonna find your retail leads,
Yeah.
right? And so, but it's cool. Like I appreciate everyone's hustle, man. You know, they're taking our deals and they're like that's like they're acting like they're theirs.
Right.
And we went direct to seller with these. And people are calling us. And you know, the one other thing too I got from Kelsey though too is like a lot from him, but it was like by us wholesaling letting that dude find the end buyer, it's costing us $10,000 per deal or whatever. And I'm like, wow, how is that? Or $2,500.
Yeah, it was a cost to our business versus
How's that a cost? Well, I don't understand. I'm like, it's like, well, why isn't that buyer in your like why isn't that part of your dispo? That buyer needs to be in your network.
It's
so
all
like
public
investing
data.
your company to build that department.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't rely on that person. Build your department, find the people,
Yeah.
and then go and sell the deals.
And it'll be good for a period of time.
For
right?
sure.
There's a time where like that's necessary while you're focused on getting your marketing up to speed,
Right.
and maybe you're a 1, 2, 3 person team, and then you get your marketing. Now you've got to lock them up. So okay, while we're building out this acquisitions department and marketing department, we can let someone else do that work for now. But overall, big picture, you should have the goal of bringing that in house,
Right.
and that's what it sounds like you guys are really focused on right now,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wrap it up with my favorite question.
Mhm.
If you could go back and tell yourself or give someone a word of advice where you were, if someone's in the same spot you were a year and a half ago, what would you tell them?
Don't question anything.
Don't question it.
Whatever the playbook is, just follow it. 100%.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to have courage, I think, for the investment, like, it's like a big leap. No matter where I was at, I had to take a big leap, like, like mentally, spiritually, emotionally, everything. Like, 'cause it's like, I know that, I identifies that. And then, like, trusting that your stuff. I mean, obviously, we know, I could see that it works. I'm like, but I had to trust that this was going to work for us, too.
Right.
And I think, it's not BS. Like, there's this thing called Are We Always Listening? Somebody's in a room and they think they're always getting sold something. I was one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, even like, or like I got listened to a podcast like this, or like all these people are like, they're part of the low key. They're like,
It's a plan.
we're in with them. We get a toaster if they sign up. Like, I don't care. Like, it's, this way of listening is like, cause my subconscious mind always wants to talk me out of good things. Right. It's like, I know. So like, get your mind right, dude. If you really want it, it's going to take a little courage, but you're actually going to have to do work too.
Yeah. What was interesting about that, I'll talk a little bit on both of your guys' responses, which I thought was phenomenal, by the way. So thank you for that. But you do have, we talk about that a lot at the workshop. And you mentioned that like over the years, you've had to evolve as a person. And we all do. That's part of growth, right?
Yeah.
But without understanding the person that we have to become. So for example, let's just say we want to run a $10 million a year business. Okay. Just throwing that out there just as an example. We got to start to ask ourselves, well, what does that person do? The person who has those results, do they skip one-on-ones? Do they track KPIs, or are they more of like, I'm not filling out a spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Are they posting their level 10 meetings, or are they skipping them, right? Are they inconsistent? Well, the answer is they do all of those things. Okay.
Yeah.
So then we've got to say, all right, if that's the results I want to have in this be-do have, I've got to then say, I've got to become that person by doing those things to have that business. And I see you doing that, which is awesome. And then you mentioned, Mary, talking about trust the process. And whenever I'm talking to someone and they're like on the fence of should I jump into results driven or not, they'll oftentimes ask me this question. The people who don't succeed, because there are people who don't succeed, like what is it that separates people that succeed from those that don't? And the ones that don't succeed try to put their own spin on it. They don't follow the process. They just aren't coachable. But the people who follow it to the process or follow it to the T, like you guys, and oftentimes there's a little bit of a 2-3, you guys almost like a year of a pushback. But oftentimes it's a little shorter than that. But once they've come to that realization, that's when things completely change. And I couldn't agree more that if you're going to jump into something, like you've got to trust it, and buy into the process and not try to make it your own. Like go succeed with it first.
Right.
And then if you see over time, right, you start to see, okay, here's a way I can optimize this. And I'm not talking about it being like a month or 3 months later. Like we're talking a year and a half, 2 years in, and you're seeing consistent results. And you're like, I think I can do this dispo just a little bit better this way. Cool. Optimize it.
Right.
That's business. But follow it to the T first.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I have empathy for those people who go into it and they don't know that they're already talking themselves out of it before they get involved, and they're looking for what doesn't work and they don't realize that it's them the whole time, And so it's easier for me to make you wrong and then leave here and go, hey, did you try that result? Yeah, it didn't work out, man. What happened? Yeah, it's not for us. It might work in Ohio, but it doesn't work in Chicago.
Yeah.
And then they ride the wheels off of that and they think if other people believe them, then, there's some value in that for them, but they don't really different, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on to the show. Thank you for feedback.
Thank you for having us.
Great. Congrats with all the success too. I know a lot of hard work went into that.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Excited for this
Appreciate
year.
it. Thanks for putting it out.
Let's make it a great one.
Yeah. Thank
All right.
you.